لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لا شريك لك.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of your show, Philosophy of Hajj. I'm your host, Khalil Amonette, and joining us, of course, is our very eminent scholar, Professor Muhammad Naeem Saie. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us, of course, as always. And we were talking about in the last episode about how it's so important to renew your love for certain things, whether it be loved ones or your religion, which is what Hajj accomplishes for Muslims, and also about the equality between men and women in Islam and the rituals of Hajj, how Hajj is the jihad for women. Is there anything we want to add to that, or are we going to move on to any topics, Professor?
Well, just we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim after we say Jazakallah khairan inshaAllah ta'ala for this introduction. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ya man la yurdu sa'ilah wa la yukhayyibu al-'abdu wa sa'ilah. Allahumma inni as'aluka fi hadhihi as-sa'ati al-mubarakati wa fi hadhihi al-ayyam al-mubarakat an tahfazna wal muslimina ajma'in wa an tarfa' 'anna al-hamma wal ghamma wal bala'a والشدة إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. اللهم فرح المسلمين في هذه الأيام في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها إنك أنت على ما تشاء قدير وبالإجابة جدير. فرج الهم عنا وعن المهمومين ونفس الكرب عنا وعن المكروبين. فك أسر المأسورين وأحسن خلاص المسجونين وانتقم لعبادك الصالحين من الطغاة والظالمين والمستبدين إنك أنت القوي العزيز الحكيم. آمين اللهم آمين. أما بعد. We did talk the last time about a very important point, which is the equality between men and women in Islam. What is the Islamic law perspective on this regard? We did explain what that means from Islamic law point of view, and how much Islam was so advanced in bringing the real meaning of equality, just to suit the nature of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to make everyone is equipped and very well equipped to carry on his mission and his assignment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave subhanahu wa ta'ala every one of us in this life, which is reflect how much Islam is so logic and so real. As we said the other maybe time, the realism in Islam, not idealism in Islam, to look at you the way you are, the way being created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to your skills, your talent, your nature, your capabilities, your possibilities, everything, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to assign you, to give you the mission does fit on you. Now others, they don't have this. They mix it between what does fit, what does not fit. Islam, because it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was so advanced in this issue. And the Hajj, as we said, the Prophet was mentioning that the greatest maybe act worship for Muslim lady is to make the Hajj, to share, at least in her mind, at least in her maybe feelings, in her actions, the men and the battlefield. Both of them, they are making jihad, different kind of jihad. As we know, jihad is not just one time. Maybe the highest level of it when you are spending or maybe sacrificing your life, your life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But
I think that's only the greatest after Hajj, or the only greatest thing after that is if you go out, spend your money and perhaps your life, and you may not return. That's the only thing.
Yes. So at least when someone is not able to reach that level of maybe jihad, at least he is able to share in the meanings of that jihad. And this may be what the Prophet was mentioning, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And not just for men, because al-Hajj jihad al-da'if, the weak person cannot maybe sacrifice his life and his maybe money in the battlefield, he is able to share this means at least in the Hajj. Women, the same things. As if that the whole ummah, look at this one, my son Khalid, as if that the whole ummah should be sharing each other in these great meanings, as if that the whole ummah is mujahida. The whole ummah is in the field of jihad, but in different maybe kind of aspect, in different kind of maybe field, in different kind of mission. But all of them, they are sharing each other, because the one who is not in the battlefield is doing a great job too. You cannot imagine that the whole ummah will be in the battlefield. Someone has to be in different place. So the whole ummah is joining each other, combining and helping each other to reach the whole maybe goal of having this farida in Islam, the duty of jihad for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other point, my son Khalil, because you were born in America,
yeah,
and you live in America, alhamdulillah, Allah bless you by being a Muslim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And you see what's the difference between someone was born and grew up in the field or environment, atmosphere of childhood without having principles and values, and some other maybe kid and child who lived in United States of America, but within a family. They understand what is the responsibility being a parent, what is the maybe great meaning they should be feeding their kid and their child from the very early maybe age. Islam was so advanced in this issue. Islam was teaching, educating, and bringing the real and the most maybe useful and healthy environment, atmosphere for the children from very early beginning, from very early age. Look at this point now in the Hajj. A lady was making the Hajj with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was surely a very blessed lady to being, honored and see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam
on his only Hajj, in his last
the
Hajj.
only Hajj alayhi salam, and to be blessed to be Sahabiya, to be blessed to join the Prophet in his Hajj sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm just trying in this moment, my son Khalil, how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives one of his servant a special gift, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did choose him to be among those being gifted. So this story, we always bring this story in different field, from like especially in Islamic law issues. But sometimes we disregard the other maybe impact of it, the other maybe meanings of it, which is right now. I'm just imagining that this lady, how much this lady is so blessed, so special lady, to be joining the Prophet ﷺ, to having the title of Sahabiya, as we said, equality here now.
Yes.
Right? And to be blessed to see the Prophet ﷺ. So this lady was joining the Prophet in his Hajj sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in one spot she was holding a boy, and she raised this boy so the Prophet is able to see him.
Yeah.
And she said, Ya Rasulullah. She was shouting because very crowded, at that time, more than hundreds of thousands of Muslims. At that time they were making the Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ.
Wow.
So it was not easy for her to talk and to be heard from by the Prophet ﷺ. She was shouting, Ya Rasulullah, yes, I have this boy. Does this boy have a valid Hajj? Ali hada sabiya Hajj? She was asking that, is this boy does have a valid Hajj? This Hajj could be like considered, could be like counted as a valid Hajj for this boy. And the Prophet was hearing her, and she was answering him the same way.
Yeah.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he said, yes. I'm just imagining the story, how it's taking place, subhanAllah. Yes, and you have the reward too. Yes, he has a Hajj, inshaAllah, his Hajj is valid, and you will be taking the ajr of this boy too. Naam, walaki ajruh. Or walaki ajr. Yes, and you have the ajr, the reward of this boy. When a lady just heard this from the Prophet ﷺ, she had some concern, because she brought her boy with her from all this long distance, And she was concerned that all this effort, all this maybe
may go for nothing or something.
Subhanallah,
Yes, and
the
she
Prophet
spent all the time.
ﷺ gave her this comfort and this relief.
Reassurance.
Subhanallah, jazakallah khair, that yes,
even a small boy.
La ilaha illallah. But from Islamic law point of view, if that boy is in a certain age that he's able to recognize and distinguish between right and wrong.
The age of puberty.
Not puberty. No,
puberty.
no. Before that. Before that.
Okay.
Before this, I'm talking about boys.
Understanding.
Before reaching the age of puberty.
Okay.
And they call it mumayyiz. Mumayyiz means that he is distinguishable boy, that he is able to distinguish between right and left, right and wrong. They could say maybe 7 years, 7 years and a half.
So a 7-year-old boy's Hajj could be accepted. It doesn't depend on puberty.
No. Will be accepted, but it is not enough for this boy to say that he did the mandatory Hajj.
Okay.
After he reached the age of puberty, now he has to make the Hajj again.
I see.
But at least when he made the Hajj in that age, this Hajj will be valid and he will take the ajr. And whoever was the reason behind this Hajj, he will take the ajr of that little boy. So if the age of 7 maybe or 8, it depends, this varies from like boy to other one. But when he is reaching the age that he is able to differentiate between right and left, wrong and right, and what is hot, what is like cold, and this is harmful, this is useful, something like this, they call it mumayyiz, that he is able to distinguish.
Of understanding, yes.
Yes. Most likely the age of 7.
Okay.
Maybe it could be less, could be maybe more, it depends on the boys sometimes. But the issue here, Khalil, la ilaha illallah, this lady was so happy to hear this from the Prophet ﷺ, that she did gain what she was looking for, and her boy is going to be remembering this moment. And this happened. This boy later on remembered that I did make the Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ. You know, my skin right now, just la ilaha illallah. Imagine that.
That's a beautiful image, yes.
La ilaha illallah. When someone is just remembering, if you remember just your childhood, and you can tell me, Professor Saie.
Yes, I remember my childhood. I lived in Mecca actually, around the age of 6. I remember the Hajj very well because all the Hujjaj arriving, and also everyone goes out to work for the Hujjaj in Mecca. So I remember it as always a special time. For Meccawis, every Hajj is special, no matter how long you've lived in that city. Every single Hajj you see new people, you see old people, it's always special. And that's all the time we have for this segment. Inshallah, Professor Saie will be sharing more of his wisdom when we get back, inshallah.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك.
Welcome to Cosmic Proof, the one and only program that leads you to the truth wherever it is, for my sake and your sake.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Welcome back. We were just talking, me and the professor, about youth and Hajj, how it's an important thing for youth. And it doesn't mean just because they're small that they don't get the ajr and gain something from the Hajj. And you're just sharing that really nice story from the Prophet's life.
And if you take this to consideration, was not just only in the Hajj, as if that was the mentality, the philosophy of raising your kids, how should be grown up in the special atmosphere and environment, so they are able to be qualified, to be eligible for maybe after a certain age, certain maybe stage in their life, to carry on every mission does fit in their maybe stage of their life. So this kind of combination of being a child and being so educated and so aware of great values and principles. That's what built the Islamic character from very early age. And that's what makes the Muslim Ummah able at that time, within 25 years, to carry on the message of Islam to Far East and Far West. They call it the miracle, because the whole Ummah together, men, women, children, young people, old people, they were sharing the same responsibilities. You remember the story of Rafi' ibn Khadija and Samar ibn Jundub. They were at the age maybe 12 or maybe 11 or 10. They were still young boy. They were not reaching the puberty age yet. But they having this mentality of sharing everyone. They were fighting each other to go, racing each other who is going to be with the Prophet, not to like journey to Las Vegas or maybe to Hawaii, maybe to spend some beautiful, nice time. Who is going to share him and join him in the battlefield? In that age, the age of 10 or 11. And if you look at our children right now, unfortunately, many of them, they are not prepared for this. They are still, as if they said in America, they're born with the silver
spoon in their mouth, yes.
Right? But this was not the case of the Muslim children. Taking it from the Prophet ﷺ. We are not saying that child should not be having their childhood. They should enjoy their childhood. It's part of their childhood, part of the real and logic and scientific education. But don't forget at the same time to accommodate maybe or combine between their childhood right, their childhood needs, at the same time feeding them great values and principles. And subhanAllah, till this moment, even among some even non-Muslims, you could see that. If you go back to the village, country, country in America, those they live not in town, not they live in a city, they live like in
the rural areas.
Yes, they have these principles. You can see like kid or child at the age maybe of 7 or 8 or 9, they are helping. He's helping his mother, his father. It's like he's a young man. This is really should be coming back to the Muslims, Ummah Ta'ala, and this maybe could be coming back to the whole maybe people living in this earth. We should not treat our children like little baby. We should always give him the trust, confidence. My
responsibility.
Son, yes, responsibility. My boy, my son, my girl, you are good boy, good girl. But we have a very bad habit, very bad maybe culture in many different Muslim countries or Arab countries. We are just maybe absorbing their trust, absorbing their confidence, and always treat them like little kids. They don't understand. They don't maybe. They are not at the age or maybe or stage of handling responsibilities. Or understand what is going on around them. This is wrong, very wrong, attitude and mentality. So the Hajj, when you are bringing or taking your children with you on the Hajj, you are putting them in the spot of strengthening their characters, their personalities, as if that you are taking them to a very, very high course of they call it Boy Scout.
Yes.
Right? And the Boy Scout, they taking them to like out of town, and they put some tent, and they assign them different assignment.
Tasks, yeah.
Right? You go and collect some wood. You be responsible for cooking, for like guarding the tent or the whole maybe camp. All of this stuff is good. We have in Islam in different kind of activities. One of these activities is Al-Hajj. At the end, just look at the boy. Just take in your mind any boy, any little girl, they were blessed by Allah to go with their families to Hajj and they came back. Just study their personality, study their character, how they are, mashallah ta'ala, very strong. They have very strong personality, very strong character. At the same time, they are still enjoying their childhood. And that will prepare them to their practical life when they came back to their town, to their home, to their maybe school, to their everything in their life. And this is nothing but to find it in this beautiful meaning of the Al-Hajj as an act of worshiping. As you see, mashallah, alhamdulillah, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does carry a lot of meanings, collect a lot of benefit. You cannot even count all of this. But we are just trying to pass by all these meanings. This is because this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So maybe like taking away the modern conveniences that we have, not only, it's also a visual thing for children, when they see all these Muslims they start thinking about what is it to me being a Muslim child. You know, people think maybe children don't think like that. But I remember being a child and living in Mecca and going to the Haram. You know, it does make you think, what is this place? You know, why am I here? Why are these people going around this, the Kaaba? What is this, you know?
Subhanallah.
So I think, yeah, that's a very, very important point.
We should, inshallah ta'ala, focus on it, inshallah ta'ala, and remind everyone who's going to Hajj and he has his family. It's your time. It's your chance, because I know that many parents, they have very negative attitude toward their kids. It's your time, your chance, your opportunity to bring back your trust, your belief in your children. Always say this: believe in your children, and bring to them the confidence they have lost because of you. This is your time, inshallah ta'ala. Assign them during the Hajj, inshallah ta'ala, to have them being responsible and having some special maybe or different kind of assignment or missions. You will see the impact of this when you come back, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
This is very important in the Hajj. Now, as we said, now the whole Ummah now is sharing the bottom meaning of the Hajj, because you are struggling, you are suffering, you are putting your effort, so you are having yourself with others, inshallah ta'ala, the same meaning. This is represent unity in your Ummah attitude, the Ummah mentality, and the Ummah understandings and concern, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah. Professor Saie, that's all the time we have. So let's just wrap it up. I mean, Hajj is an all-encompassing thing for children and for women to share in this great event, to learn from it, inshallah. That's all the time we have. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And that's all the time we have. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك